it was a great win in another really competitive game for Liverpool. This was massive for them. It was. I watched the game, right, and honestly, like, Brentford had chances, didn't put them away. Liverpool had chances as well, but then what Liverpool have got, that ability to bring on more firepower. They bought on Núñez, they bought on Elliott, they bought on Chiesa, change it in their favour. And it was Darwin Núñez who gets slated a lot of times with 2 big goals and a big win for Liverpool.
It's funny because I look at that game and your game, and I was actually out on Saturday because we had like a family thing going on, and I checked on the flash score thing 0-0, and I looked at the stats, and Liverpool had like 30-something shots, and I thought that's going to be another one of those games that Liverpool draw. And then a little bit later, we're having the meal, and I put the Arsenal thing up, and it said 3-2, and I looked at it and I switched it off, and then I went around the bar and I saw someone I hadn't seen in ages who was a West Ham fan, and he was like, "Oh, I'm good, we lost, but at least Arsenal dropped it." I went, "What are you on about?" He says, "No, it's 2-2. I had to check my phone. Normally it flashes saying VAR or something like that." So I was shocked actually how that went. I thought Arsenal had won and Liverpool had dropped points, but it turns out being the other way. But yeah, I mean, the thing about Liverpool's mini dip is that they've not lost, have they? Even the draws, they find a way to win. Unfortunately, they are the best team in the Premier League at the moment, and I don't see anybody doing anything about it for various reasons. I think Arsenal were the only hope, and
well, Arsenal,
the injuries caused problems.
Yep, Arsenal, of course. I was at the game, 2-0, absolutely cruising, right? But I think Mikel Arteta said it himself, right? The lack of, which he's partly responsible for, but the lack of injuries and them not buying that striker in the summer, but a lack of firepower, right? So basically, you saw Villa, they changed the energy in the game. They were able to bring on Liam Bailey. They were able to bring on John Duran and players like that. The energy was still up with them. And they launched a good comeback and a couple of lapses in concentration for Arsenal. Thomas Partey on both goals, really. I thought it was a lapse of concentration by him. He's playing as a right back. It's not his position. And maybe thought, the game's been won now, so we can relax a bit. No, it's the Premier League. And Arsenal giving up a 2-goal lead. Thought that we'd won it in the end. But Havertz adjudged to have touched the ball, which, by the way, is quite a lot of Arsenal fans have been replaying back. They replayed it back in the actual game, and fans weren't happy. They thought it had come off his chest. It's really hard to tell.
Well, they should favour the. I've not, to be honest, I haven't seen that because that's the only game I didn't really keep an eye on. But if it's borderline and it was given, then it should stay given, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know what? It's one of those ones that you see it from one angle, it looks like handball. You see it from another angle, it looks like it's come off his chest. He was adamant it come off his chest. But anyway, we threw it away. We were 2-0 up. There's no point in blaming that, right? We were 2-0 up. And I think you're right. At the moment, it's Liverpool's to lose. Arsenal, they don't lose games, really. Arsenal have only lost 2 games this season. Liverpool have lost 1, but too many games drawn. And that is down to the lack of firepower that Arsenal have with no Saka. Jesus is out now. I think unless Arsenal go and address that in this transfer window, over the next couple of weeks, go and get in a couple of players that are going to be difference makers, I don't think we can catch Liverpool because they just have too much firepower and we lack it. So hence, teams ain't really going to beat us much, but we draw games because we just lack that. We lack that killer.
I mean, you get it. You mentioned Spurs, you get it, United. It's happening at Arsenal as well. I just think it's a bit of a shame how there is a lack of communication from the the boards of these football clubs, because I think it's so baffling why Arsenal haven't done it. And live by the sword, die by the sword. If you don't want to spend money and you think that's the way to win the league, then tell your fans that's what you're going to do. But I think Arsenal fans are sort of left in this grey area of, have we got money? Are we waiting for the right type of player? This, that, and the other, but. I look at it and I go, look, you're better off taking a risk in January than sitting and doing nothing, because they're running out of energy, Arsenal, and they've got a very big few months. I mean, the FA Cup's gone now, the league's getting close to being gone, Carabao Cup's probably gone, Champions League, but 3 weeks ago they were all on, and if they'd hit the January transfer window with a bit of oomph and planning, you'd have beat us, you'd have beat Newcastle, you'd have won yesterday, and everything's still on. So people, it's almost like a dirty word to say we need to spend, but every club in history, and especially the Premier League, was built on spending. So
you can have your best laid plans, which they reckon Arsenal have got for but it's too late, right? You've got to adjust.